Rain, rain, please go away. These fans got a taste of the rainbow. Warriors were hard at work. Mr. Excitement, meet Mr. Wall. Mark Martin's day went a little flat, but it would get reinflated. Marco Greco had his first ever pole in New Hampshire. First ever pole anywhere, in fact. But he developed early problems. And AJ looks like he's fit to race a car again. At the lake, all sorts of wetness. Maybe the only thing that could cool down Alex Zanardi. The NHRA reaching for the skies in Minnesota. Corey McClellan for the record book. Try not to scuff your equipment. Make sure you get a good view. You'll see clearly on RPM Tonight next.
Car's running good, but you know, we got a great car, great race team. We've been racing really good with a darn good car. This car's better than we've had anywhere this year.
That there was Mark Martin wearing his Busch uniform on Saturday. Very excited about the Winston Cup car that he would drive on Sunday, and we're excited, period. Hello, it's RPM. Welcome. Coincidental to a race named for a paint spray gun maker called DeVille Biss. A couple Cup cars were fancied up for the run in Michigan. Jeff Bodine went QVC gold, and Jeremy Mayfield splashed on Kmart colors more prominently. Those two scored some marketing points, but the most useful ones are found in the standings. And the chase is on to catch the guy whose car appears to have been decorated at one of those spin the paint wheel booths at a state fair. And this is the guy, Jeff Gordon, set to go. The points leader wants another one early, and they're racing. And our Roush cars are doing it. Running 1, 2, 3, Mark Martin, followed by Ted Musgrave and Jeff Burton. And then there's trouble for Mark Martin, 10 and 2. Blew a tire. Does a great job to save it, but he had to head to the pits for a long haul. 50 seconds, lost 2 laps. There's a shredded tire. Hope there's a warning. Lap 102, Martin already made up 1 lap. The caution comes out. Jeff Burton, he yields, lets Martin by, back on the lead lap. Burton, car chief, Frank Stoddard explained.
Wait a minute, the ignition broke there on that.
That's the story they're selling down here, but we're not investing in it.
Yeah, we're not buying either. The caution lasted 12 laps. Martin in and out of the pits 4 times during that span. Green flag for lap 114 on the restart. Leader Jeff Burton almost into the wall. Ted Musgrave grabs the lead from his teammate. Burton back to 4th. The rain brought out a caution and brought it out for a long, long time. They're going slow. They're just walking around, checking the weather. The leaders Ted Musgrave and Jeff Gordon, they came down to grab some fuel during this long delay. Finally, after more than an hour, the signal that 2 more laps will be run until green, and they're off and racing. And Ted Musgrave after Ricky Craven for the lead. 33 laps to go, and Jeff Gordon getting a little push on Jeff Green to get past Musgrave and then into the lead. Gordon back in front of this car race. Now Gordon and Musgrave fighting it out for the lead. Here comes Martin. He's back on the lead lap, and now he's not back in the lead lap. He's back and into the lead because he's flying down low. And Mark Martin in the 6 in white got the lead once again after falling so far back in this race. 29 to go now. Gordon trying to use Jeff Green once again to take the lead, but Martin, he's right there with the block, and Jeff Gordon will be denied his 9th win of the season. Mark Martin gets over to stop him, and Martin pulling away after that. The final lap, coasting to a win, and it's Mark Martin, then Jeff Gordon. They go 1-2. Martin wins his 3rd of the season from 2 laps down, so celebration all around for the big comeback. He also gets a Harley Davidson for winning this thing. Gordon has 16 top 5s now in 21 races. Martin's teammate Ted Musgrave got up for 3rd. There's Ernie Irvin, the winner of the spring race in Michigan. Bobby Labonte won both races in Michigan back in 1995. He was 6th on Sunday. Bill Elliott's popular. He had his 5th straight top 10. Jeff Burton in 8th place, so all 3 Roush cars make the top 10. And we go up front to the number 1 guy now.
Mark, congratulations. What an effort.
Oh, man. I wanted to win this thing so bad. I thought I saw it go up in smoke when that tire let loose.
What happened with the tire? Did you know you hit something, or you just cut it down? Do you have any idea what may have happened?
I felt it get a little bit funny feeling on the front straightaway, and I slightly eased into 1, and that's the only way I saved it. It was all over the place when I got into the corner. Totally out of control. In fact, I couldn't figure out why it kept getting like that, because I was slowed down enough. I thought I should control it, and I still was out of control. So, yeah, we came back from it. We had the car to do it today. Now I think I know how that kid feels on Sunday a lot. I had the car today. He's usually got the car, but we had the program today. We had the fuel mileage. We had everything we needed to win this thing.
This is the kind of day, though, that can carry you possibly to a Winston Cup championship. Is this your year?
We're serious about it, and I hope this shows it today.
Now here's how Martin's been staying close to Jeff Gordon for the title by slightly outscoring him in the past 15 events. Gordon has twice as many wins in those 15 races, but Martin has more top 10s and a better average finish. Now we go to Martin's 8th place teammate, Jeff Burton.
We put ourselves in a position to win competitive-wise, but not with the fuel strategy for whatever. We just didn't seem to be able to pick up as much fuel as some of those other guys could. And like I said, you know, the gamble is how many laps you're going to run under caution, and who knows?
Well, you never knew. I mean, it's only rained for 3 days, so you didn't know when it was going to start raining again. So, but it was all in all, it was good. And Mark had the best car.
Just never could get to the front. Just didn't have it all today. You know, ran hard and got a top 5, but lost points to both the guys in front of us. So, you know, we'll take it and try to make up something at Bristol.
It don't matter, a mile or an inch. You know, it's still getting beat. It's when you don't get that one in the win column, it don't matter. You know, you're still second, third. You know, you still have one to deal. And hell, I wanted that motorcycle.
We weren't very good on new tires, but we were really pretty good on old tires. And I thought if we could just get some track position, you know, maybe we could hang with them. But I believe Mark was just toying with everybody. Once he got out front, he pretty much had control of the race, and I think he watched his mirror more than what was going on in front of him. Today really was a big day for us because as dominant as Mark was, he could have made up a whole lot more than what he did. So, you know, we're just glad to get out of here with a good, strong second and go on to the short tracks.
Jeff Gordon gave some ground back to Mark Martin, but still has a 99-point lead after 21 of 32 events. Dale Jarrett, Terry Labonte, and Jeff Burton, they remain 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Big move here by Ted Musgrave. He went from 11th to 8th. Bill Elliott went from 10th to 9th. Mayfield backed up 2 spots. So did Ricky Rudd, who's now in 11th after being 29th on Sunday. D-Dub moved up 1 spot from 16th to 15th. That's the same place he finished the race on Sunday. Jeff Burton is the guy we all hope to find, but rarely do when trying to merge onto a freeway. A little help, that's our plea, but most often our fellow motorists look straight ahead and squeeze us farther down the ramp. But Barton, rather, did get the yield sign from Burton, and all the bad luck Sunday was reversed. Here's Bill Weber with more on the story.
The one thing you can always count on at a NASCAR Winston Cup race is that you never know what's going to happen. Mark Martin appeared to have a contending car until he cut a tire and lost 2 laps on the racetrack. Then he got a little help from a friend, got back on the lead lap, showed his strong car and his strong resolve. And in the middle of a tight battle for the points, Martin fought back and won the race.
He knew he had a good race car. We knew if we got some brakes, we'd make a couple laps up. We wanted to fix him a good, safe race car, so we didn't hurry up under the green. We got 2 laps down instead of just 1, but we had him in a good, safe car that we knew could go to the front, and we talked to him and talked to him and talked to him, convinced him that we could go on fuel, let him know how many laps to go, let him know nobody on the racetrack was beating him, and you just got to be like you're riding there with him.
I mean, we just went out and ran better than anybody, and we had the horsepower, we had the fuel mileage, we had the handling, we had the pit stops, you know, we had everything to go out and do this thing, and then we had some bad luck, and then we turned around and we had more good luck than bad luck and managed to overcome.
No matter how determined Mark was or how good his Ford might have been, he still needed a little help. This time, it just happened to come from a teammate.
Well, that was absolutely the driver's cooperation. You know, I don't interfere with what they do on the racetrack. They know what's good for them and good for one another. There's a lot of give and take in them.
Jack looks at the whole situation and says, here's what we got to do, guys, because the best car is going to get the best shot at that time. It felt like the 6 was in the best shape to win the race.
He had the best car. We had the 2nd best car, and it would have been fun for him and I to race it out. But, you know, if you can, I let more than just him back in the lead lap. You know, Rusty Wallace and Darrell Waltrip, they owe me a thanks, too.
He paid me the ultimate compliment today. I gave him a spot in Atlanta in November that moved him up 1 spot in the points. I gave him a lap back there, and you know, things like that pay off.
Mark Martin dodged a major bullet at Michigan. He actually gained ground in the points. But now we go to Bristol, where it's always tough. What's going to happen there? Well, just like here, you never know.
All right, Bill, thank you. Martin's win was the 4th straight at Michigan by a Ford driver. We go back further to 1985 to show the Ford dominance at this track. 18 Ford wins to just 5 by Chevy, and of those Chevy wins, 4 are by 2 drivers. More from Michigan Speedway later in the show, including how the Penske driver did at the Penske track. But it's not all about NASCAR. The kart series went racing Sunday at beautiful Elkhart Lake. It took a while to get racing, and when they did, some things were upside down. A bit later, more open wheel, the IRL up in New Hampshire, and NHRA. It's fun for the whole family. Stay for the drag kings and queens. They're coming soon. Hi. No matter what happened in Sunday's IRL event, teams would have plenty of time to reconstruct and refine before the season finale. Intermittent Racing League is accurate considering the next event isn't until October 11th. And although he couldn't clinch on Sunday, Tony Stewart did have a shot at putting away some more of his rivals in the season title fight. The Pennzoil 200, New Hampshire. Here we go. Tony Stewart, all set, still plenty of good seats available, and away they go. And in big trouble right away. Jim Guthrie, he had to head to the pits right away, blew the engine. A little bit later, Robbie Groff right away. He's in trouble on the opening lap, spinning out on the start. 6 laps later, they're on the restart. Jimmy Kite with Cheech and Chong at the wheel. A lot of smoke going up. We'll show it to you again because we have editing machines. And he's smoking, he's sliding, he's into the wall. Now lap 60, we move ahead to pole sitter Marco Greco. Had a good day, but then oil on the engine. Actually, oil out of the engine, huh? Because he spun on it. Davey Hamilton, he has trouble all day long. Problems here on lap 123, going real slow and done for the day. Lap 176 now. And Stewart experienced the same fate. He left with the smoking engine, but he finished with a 10-point lead over Hamilton. 5 laps to go. Eddie Cheever's on the lead, but then this.
Oh, look at this! Fuel comes right up on him as Cheever slows.
Yeah, Cheever problems. It actually was a blown gearbox and then a steering wheel that was thrown. White flag and it's Buell in the lead. Check it out. Vincenzo Suspiri's after him, and down the stretch they come. Buell to the lead. Suspiri's got him right to the line, and Buell hangs on one to the head. First ever IRL win, Quaker State rules. First win for Robbie Buell. He was in a comeback race after missing 2 events because of injury. The margin between Buell and Suspiri is 0.064. That's the closest finish in the 10 IRL events. Lyondike got up for 3rd, not pictured. Cheever ended up back in 9th. Up front for the first time with our man Jack Arute, Robbie Buell.
Well, there it is. It says Batman on the helmet, and you really are a superhero today, Robbie Buell. Congratulations.
The guys were joking that my cape was going to be flapping today. You know, it's just good to be back in the car after missing 2 races, and to win's great. These guys worked hard. They put the Quaker State card aside for me till I was better, and they said, we're just waiting for you.
Yeah, mentally, how does that feel for you as a driver to know they waited?
It's great. It shows a lot of commitment, I think, towards me, and just kind of keeps me at rest, and, you know, I thank John Menard for that.
You almost collected Cheever. What happened there at the end?
I don't know. He must have ran out of fuel or something, because I just came up on top of him, and I was on the binders to keep from hitting the back of him. So we got a little bit of luck today, and, hey, you need that in this game.
Congratulations, Rob.
Thanks, Jack.
Nearly photo finish there. The first race of the 2nd IRL season was held last year at Loudon, and Buell had a far different day that day. He got into a wreck on lap 1, ended up in 22nd. This time he stayed near the lead and caught a break at the end to get his first IRL win. He got that break because this guy broke down, Eddie Cheever.
It was a gearbox problem. The car ran impeccably all day. I thought we were going to get first plus its 2nd win. We didn't. It was a little gearbox, so I'm not sure what it is, but all the gears inside just exploded. And that was that.
My car was a fantastic car, was just flying. Unfortunately, the race finished 1 lap earlier for me, and I need 1 more lap and I would be there.
This was an important race to us, and you know, it's a heartbreaker, but we, you know, hey, it wasn't meant to be to finish today, and we haven't gave up yet. I know we're going to lose some points in the championship, but there's 1 race left. All we can do is go for that and see what comes out.
So anytime that you can come out of a race and gain points, you got to be happy, especially with 1 race to go. But you know, the same kind of misfortune he had today, you know, we could have it at Vegas and he could go on and finish the race and win the points. So it's by far not over yet.
1 race to run, and Tony Stewart gained more ground even though he was just 14th on Sunday. That's because 2nd place Davey Hamilton ended up in 17th. So the lead is 10 points. Only the top 3 have a mathematical chance to win this whole thing when they race in October. 3rd place is Eddie Cheever. He's 38 back. NHRA coming real soon. Top Fuel's tough guy lately is Corey McLenathan, who's after his 4th straight win Sunday. We'll show you that pretty soon, but first, the question. The Best Buy question. Corey Mack had won 3 straight entering Sunday, 1 more to tie a record. Who's the only person to win 4 Top Fuel events in a row? The answer coming up in about 2 minutes. We have a Best Buy answer to the Best Buy question. Who's the only Top Fuel driver in NHRA history to win 4 straight events? The answer, Scott Kalita, did it back in 1994. As for McLenathan, his 3 wins in a row is also a tie for his most wins in 1 season, but trying to get a 4th. Champion Auto Stores Nationals, Brainerd, Minnesota. And top fuel Joe Amato had the record Saturday, but gets blown away by Bob Vandergrift. Take a second look. Amato's car in big trouble, throwing up some smoke, throwing up some flame. No such problem for Corey McClellan, flying past Vandergrift in the finals. 4 straight, tying a record, which was the best by record, huh?
The front end's in the air, the front end is still in the air. Finally got to the point of no return. I had to shut it off. So we weren't down, pedaled again, brought it back around, and won this drag race 4 times in a row. Incredible.
Looks like you got an Olympic medal also. Funny cars, and they're hysterical. John Force, Ron Capps, racing. Where's Capps? Didn't go very far. Force did. 310 miles per hour. He's good. Driver of the year in 1996, by the way. Pro Stock final, Kurt Johnson, Jim Yates. No way they go. And this is close. They're coming to the line, the 2 of them. Yates and Johnson. Johnson hangs on, wins it ahead. 196 miles per hour. Trouble in Pro Stock bikes, though. Dave Schultz, the bike won't go. So that meant that Matt Hines pretty much went on a pleasure ride and wins without competition. He wins. Matt Hines. Let's check out the points. Gary Scelzi, not pictured earlier, he still leads by some margin over Joe Amato. The margin is 188. John Force gets his first win since February, increases his lead over Whit Bazemore. Jim Yates, still the leader. Warren Johnson is the second place man in Pro Stock. And Matt Hines, after that easy run, wins and lengthens his lead over John Myers, his 5th win of the season. Stay around. Elkhart Lake is where we're headed to. They were sliding because it was raining, and the rain delay explains our delay in getting you the race. Hang on, though. They call it Road America at Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin. It's unlike most American roads you and I travel on. No potholes, no confusing signs, no big trucks whose draft sucks you in about an inch or 2 away from one of their 18 wheels. But there is sameness, a whole field of tailgating jerks trying to run through you. And in Sunday's case, there was the possibility of irate tailgating jerks because rain delayed the kart race by 2.5 hours. And here we go to it. Alex Zanardi trying to increase the point lead, but couldn't get it going because the rain's coming down so hard and wouldn't let up. 2.5 hour delay. This Dodge Neon was out there to try to get some of the water off the track. Instead, he ended up upside down. The driver's okay, and they can go racing on an off-road series somewhere else. They finally did get going, and they're all in line and racing. Lap 1 right off the start. Walter Salles, trouble. Tracy, trouble. They get together. Tracy flipping over. Big problems into the go-kart tires. Tracy fine. His race day not fine. In fact, all done. Restart. Mark Blundell coming up on Mauricio Guzman, who's the points, or rather the pole sitter. He passes him for the lead right there. More problems for Guzman. Dario Franchitti getting by him to take over the 2 spot. Track drying out. Michael Andretti pits, gets the slicks back on instead of the wet ones. And the next lap, Andretti, thinking the track is drying out, it was less dry than he thought. Sliding and backwards and then into the gravel, and we're going to need a hauler. We're going to need a tow. We're going to need AAA, something, I don't know. It didn't work out so. The leaders go in. Blundell, he goes to the slicks. So does Franchitti, and it works for a bit. During the caution lap, he on board Franchitti. It didn't work so well. Broke the camera, too. His day done. Restart. Blundell and Alex Zanardi and Guzman, they're 1, 2, 3. More problems for Walter Salles. Maximilian Papi, they're together. They get air. Everybody okay. Lap 34. Greg Moore coming up on Bobby Rahal. Passes him and then spinning out into the kitty litter. Moore done. Now to caution. They're going to the pits. Zanardi hoping to beat Blundell out. He does. And he's got the lead. Alex Zanardi, the points leader, looking for yet another win late in the race. Blundell, he was second. Then he has oil problems. Now he's into the grass. He's done. And Alex Zanardi in front. He's the man. And then he's pretty much damaging Chip Ganassi's car. But he wins, and he can do that because he is the series leader and looking for more. Alex Zanardi winning once again. Mauricio Guzman, he had the pole, and he ends up in the 2 spot. Gilles de Ferrin next, and Christian Fittipaldi and Scott Pruitt. And we have even more. Bobby Rahal, good run, got up for 6. Al Jr. still looking for a win. Jimmy Vassar hasn't won this year. Richie Hearn was next. And then Juan Fangio. Gary Gerald did the talking with Alex Zanardi afterward. And the tire change was the big question.
I don't know whether that decision was took from Chip or who on the target Chip Ganassi Racing, but they decided to leave me out with the same set of tire. Firestone has gave us such a tire that we can do the whole race, and they're probably good for Vancouver as well. So we didn't change tire, we just put fuel in, and that's how we beat Mark. But hey, the motor was pushing very well, you know, so I'm very happy. I mean, Honda is pushing hard, Firestone is pushing hard, Target Ganassi Racing is pushing hard. I do my part.
And there you are with a chance now to wrap up a championship at Vancouver, the next race in 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I don't want to think about that, but anyways, it's good.
Now you notice Zanardi was eating something. He was warned not to do donuts after the race. He did them anyway. No one said anything about eating donuts. Zanardi's been on fire. He's won 3 straight, 4 of his last 5. He was in 5th place in the Cup standings before his Cleveland win, but he's climbed to the top since that. Right now, let's speak with Mauricio Gutschman.
So close again, 2nd place. Take us through, were you having heart failure when you saw Blundell go up, thinking maybe it might happen to you too?
Got my concern. I had a problem in qualifying. Actually, on time on Friday, I had a problem, but unfortunately happened to him this time. I was running very hard in the beginning, and the car was running well for a few laps, but then I started losing traction, and I couldn't really run with those guys, either Zanardi or Mark. But in the end, I just got a lucky break. It was unfortunately for Mark.
As far as this race, though, I mean, are you getting to the point where you are wondering if you're ever going to get that victory?
You bet I'm going to get it. Just keep working up there. We got pole and we got 2nd today. We didn't quite have the car for the win, but we keep hammering up there. We're going to get one.
All right, the points go something like this. Alex Zanardi, he's your man through 14 of 17 races. Opens up by 38 on Gilles Deferrin. Took over 2nd from Paul Tracy, who's on a bit of a slide after leading most of the season. The other drivers on this list are still in contention for the title, but Zanardi's certainly the man to beat with 3 races to go. And ESPN is the TV station to watch if you want to see it. Well, originally you thought you would watch it there, but because of the rain delay, you didn't. You watched it here, but you can watch it Monday, which is just hours from now at 12:30 a.m., then again at 1 Eastern. Thanks, bye. All right, the comeback win by Mark Martin in the DeVille Bisque 400. So outstanding. We're giving you a 3rd look here. Came back from 2 laps down, went firing to the front. He's 2nd in points. He's putting the heat on Jeff Gordon and kind of like shot a warning at him, didn't he?
That's what we need to do. That's what the 24 does week in and week out. We need to run. I wanted to turn up the heat a little bit, you know, pump it up a little bit. And if we can race like we raced today the rest of the season, then, you know, we can be a serious contender.
And he certainly will be. Now, these folks here did not win the Cup race Sunday. Jeff Godine got to the line in 11th. That's 1 spot back at the start. Ricky Craven had his best finish since the California 500 back in June. Rusty Wallace came way back from a 42 spot on the grid. Derek Cope was good for 16th. There's Jimmy Spencer in 19th, far better than his 41st starting place. David Green closed out the top 20. 41 of the 43 starters still running at the end of this race. And some more of those who were right here. You got Lake Speed. He was in 21st place. The pole sitter, Johnny Benson, still looking for his first Cup win. He ended up in the 24th spot. RPM tonight is a TV show. 7 nights a week, Monday through Saturday at 7 Eastern. Although next Saturday, mark this down, like take a pen and write it on your hand. We're on at 6:30 next Saturday. Next Sunday, we're on at noon, and we're on again at 8 Eastern, and we're not on anymore. I frankly don't know what camera to look at. All right, we'll see you next time you have a TV set. Goodbye.